Lesson 5.4, Multiplying Fractions. The product of two or more fractions is equal to the product of the numerators over the product of the denominators. So essentially what you're doing is 3 times 4 and 5 times 7. Multiply the numerators together, multiply the denominators together. You have 12 over 35. The algebra just tells you it works with any number as long as the denominators are not 0. In example 1, let's assign the negative to the numerator. So now it's negative 3/20. Multiply the numerators together and multiply the denominators together. There's two things you can do at this point. You could just solve and actually multiply them together, but then you'll have to simplify later. Otherwise, you can divide out common factors. In the numerator, there is a 5. In denominator, there's a 20. They both divide by 5. And that's what they're going to do here. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 20 divided by 5 is 4. The 3 and the 12 also divide by 3. Negative 3 divided by 3 is negative 1. 12 divided by 3 is positive 4. Now we just multiply, and sometimes I like to circle these so I know what I'm multiplying by now. 1 times negative 1 and 4 times 4. So negative 1/16. Again, you could have just multiplied at the very top. And then simplified from there. You would have gotten the same answer. And it doesn't matter where the negative is as long as there's one negative. Pause the video and try 1 and 2. Simplify. Even though it doesn't say, you always simplify the fraction. So you can write it like this, or you could just simply, instead of doing that, you could simply look at a numerator, look at a denominator, and divide out common factors. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 14 divided by 7 is 2. And that's all I can do. So, 1 times 5 and 16 times 2. So you have 5 30-seconds. Number 2, put the negative with the numerator. 15 and 5 divides by 5. You have 3 and then negative 1. 2 and 18 both divide by 2. You have 1 and 9. So 1 times negative 1 over 3 times 9, which is negative 1 27. When you multiply a mixed number in an integer, you want to turn it into an improper fraction. So let's look at example 2. The shower head in your home uses 2.5 gallons of water per minute. If you take a 7-minute shower, how many gallons of water do you use? Well, so we're multiplying 2.5 times 7. Let's change the 2.5 to an improper. Multiply the denominator and the whole number, add the numerator. And then put a 1 underneath the 7. 5 times 7, 2 times 1 is 35 over 2. Now just change it back into a mixed number, and that's how you would simplify. You use 17.5 gallons of water. Let's try another one. This time 2 mixed numbers. When you have this negative, just know that when you make it improper, just bring down the negative. So 3 times 5, don't even think about the negative now. 3 times 5 plus 1 is 16 over 5, and it's negative 16/5. And 25 over 6. Again, they're going to divide out common factors. Look at the numerator and denominator, 5 and 25, 16 and 6. 16 and 6 divided by 2, negative 16 divided by 2 is negative 8. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Then I circle these so I know, keep track of which ones I'm multiplying. And then 25 divided by 5 is 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. So I'm multiplying negative 8 times 5 and 1 times 3, which is negative 40 over 3. Change it into a mixed number, which again, if you don't have a calculator, you could bring this 40 down. And just know that the answer is going to be negative. 3 goes into 40. Actually, 3 goes into 4 once. Subtract. Bring down the 0. 3 goes into 10 3 times. You have negative 13 and 1/3. The 13 is your whole number. The 1 is your numerator, which you think of it as, in elementary school, your remainder is your numerator, and the denominator stays the same. Pause the video, try 3 and 4. Remember to change them into improper fractions first. 9 times 5 plus 2 is 47 over 9 times 6 over 1. 9 and 6 both divide by 3. You get 2 and 3. 47 times 2 is 94. Again, just multiply straight across. 3 times 1 is 3. Change to a mixed number by bringing down this 94 into the division sign. 3 goes into 9 3 times. 3 goes into 4 1 time. You have 31 and 1/3. 2, it's going to be negative. Don't worry about the negative now. 4 times 2 plus 3. 11/4 times 15 plus 1, 16 over 3. Simplify the 4 and the 16, both divide by 4. That's 1 and 4. Multiply across, negative 44 over 3. Your answer is going to be negative. Bring down the 44. That goes once. Bring down the 4. 3 into 14 goes 4 times. It's 12. That's with 2. So you have negative 14 2/3. In example 4, we simplify expressions. So let's use the rule for multiplying fractions and then divide out common factors. So again, you can look at the 4 and the 10 and simplify them. Both are even, so they divide by 2. Negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So you're doing m times negative 5 over 2 times 7. Well, m times negative 5 is just negative 5m. 2 times 7 is 14. If you can simplify, you do, but that's your answer. Let's divide out the common factors. So you can see 9 and 12 both divide by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Oops. And now if you multiply straight across, you have n to the 4th power times 3n squared over 4 times 10. Well, use the product of powers, which means same base, and you're multiplying, means you add the exponents. Multiply powers means you add exponents. So, you have 3n and then 4 plus 2, and 4 times 10 is 40. So, 3n to the 6th power over 40. Go ahead and pause the video and try 5 and 6. Number 5, we can simplify, divide out factors. This is 1, 4. So you have 1x times 3x squared over 5 times 4 is 20. well, you don't really need this 1, but remember there is an invisible exponent with the x. So we're going to do 3x, and then what's 1 plus 2? Over 20. So 3x cubed over 20. The negative should be put with the numerator. We can factor out common factors. Divide out common factors. Divide by 4. This is negative 1. This is 4. 15 and 5 both divide by 5. That's 1. That's 3. So you have negative 1y cubed times 1y to the 6. 3 times 4 is 12. So we have negative 1, because negative 1 times 1, and y, we add the exponents, over 12. So negative, and you can put the 1, you don't need the 1, negative 1y to the 9th power over 12. And again, you could put this as well. That is the same answer.